Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Dear student, we will continue the development of the CNS, and during this lecture we will discuss the development of the hypophysis. Another name of this endocrine gland is the pituitary gland. Dear students, pituitary gland are the hypophysis cerebri. In adult structure, we will see it composed of anterior lobe and the posterior lobe, and a very smaller the intermediate lobe. From this structure, we will call it as a composite structure, and that composite structure although develops from the ectoderm, but ectoderm has two different sources. One is the diencephalon, which give rise to the neuroectoderm, and that downgrowth forms the neurohypophyseal bud or the infundibulum, and another source is from the stomodium, which later on forms the oral cavity. So now the ectoderm source is the oral ectoderm, and that will form the outpocketing with the name of the Rathke's pouch or the hypophyseal pouch, or another name is the adenohypophyseal pouch. So that is the downgrowth from the diencephalon, and it is the floor of the developing third ventricle which give rise to downgrowth with the name of the infundibulum, and that one is the Rathke's pouch, which is developing as an outpocketing from the oral cavity. Dear students, during the last days of the third week and the start of the fourth week, a diverticulum arises from the floor of the diencephalon. It grows downwards towards the developing stomodium, which is the primordium of the oral cavities, and that diverticulum is called the neurohypophyseal bud or the infundibulum. So it is going downwards towards the stomodium. At the same time, an evagination from the roof of the developing stomodium with the name of the Rathke's pouch, which develops, and it grows in a dorsal direction towards the developing infundibulum. During the fifth week, it shows more growth, and its proximal parts becomes narrow and elongated, while its distal part becomes distended. At the end of the fifth week or the start of the sixth week, that narrow proximal part becomes more and more constricted and degenerates, so that Rathke's pouch now is, which have developed into a cystic swelling, loses its connection with the roof of the oral cavity, that is the stomodium at that time. With further development, it opposes with the infundibulum and almost encroach on it. The infundibulum, which has derived from the diencephalon, it forms the neurohypophysis and the median eminence. Median eminence is the small swelling at the point in the roof of the third ventricle where the diverticulum has arises. and that diverticulum later on shows growth further downwards, and its distal part also becomes somewhat distended, while its proximal part becomes narrow, and that narrow proximal part of the infundibulum forms the infundibulum stem. This is the infundibulum stem, and later on it forms the stalk of the pituitary gland, while the distal distended part of the infundibulum forms the pars nervosa of the posterior lobe of the hypophysis cerebri. Initially it is a cystic one having a lumen. Later on, the cells lining its wall, which are the neuroepithelial cells of the neural tube, they proliferate and they fill the lumen of the pars nervosa and convert into a solid structure. Similarly, the lumen of the infundibulum stalk also becomes solid when the axons grow from the hypothalamus nuclei, and they grow downwards through the infundibular stem and reaches into their ends, reaches into the pars nervosa. So those axons, by its passage into the pars nervosa, they fill the infundibular stem and convert into a solid structure. The neuroepithelial cells which proliferate and fill the lumen of the pars nervosa, they are called the pituocytes, and these pituocytes are the specialized types of the neuroglial cells which have arisen from the neuroepithelial cells of the lining of the pars nervosa. Rathke's pouch, which has developed from the roof of the stomodium, which is the primordia, I have told you, is the stomodium is the primordia of the oral cavity. It forms the adenohypophysis. The different parts of the adenohypophysis are pars distalis, also called the pars anterior, pars tuberalis, and the pars intermedia. The cells lining the anterior wall of the adenohypophysis, they proliferate extensively and they fill the lumen of the Rathke's pouch, and they form the pars distalis. They form the pars distalis, or the anterior lobe, or the pars anterior. Its extension later on develops and it surrounds the infundibular stem, and that extension of the pars distalis which surrounds the infundibular stem is called the pars tuberalis or the pars infundibularis. The cells of the posterior wall of the Rathke's pouch does not proliferate, and they form a very thin layer which is called the pars intermedia, which lies between the pars nervosa and the pars anterior or the pars distalis. The cells proliferating from the interior wall of the Rathke's pouch, they almost fill the whole of the lumen of that cystic Rathke's pouch and limiting it into very slit-like space which is not recognizable in the adult hypophysis cerebri. That concludes the formation of the hypophysis cerebri or the pituitary gland. Now we will discuss its anomalies. Dear students, the anomalies of the hypophysis cerebri are rare, and one of them is the pharyngeal hypophysis. Sometimes stalk of the hypophyseal diverticulum may remain as remnant and will persist as and form the masses of the anterior lobe in the roof of the oropharynx. This is the track of the development of the hypophysis diverticulum, and here it's the constricted part which is called the stalk of the diverticulum, and that stalk sometime may persist and form a separate mass of the anterior lobe of the hypophysis cerebri and it is usually present in the roof of the oropharynx. Sometimes that stalk does not form the mass of the anterior lobe, rather it persists as a very minute canal in the roof of the oropharynx, and that very minute canal is called the basipharyngeal canal. This is the second anomaly is the craniopharyngioma. It is also formed by the remnant of the Rathke's pouch, which is also called the hypophyseal diverticulum, and it may be present in the, it is usually a benign tumor. It is a benign tumor and a rare one also. It may be formed in the roof of the oropharynx or in the basisphenoid or above the sella turcica. The complication of these benign tumors with the name of the craniopharyngiomas are: number 1, optic atrophy. It may lead to pressure on the optic nerve and lead to its atrophy, or it may cause the increased intracerebral pressure, which is called the hydrocephalus, or it may lead to pituitary dysfunctions like the diabetes insipidus or the growth failure, and that is the craniopharyngioma seen in the MRI of the brain. This concludes the development of the pituitary gland, its anomalies. Dear students, this topic, which is the development of the pituitary gland, is very important, especially with respect to the examination point of view. Please give it serious attention. Thank you so much.